nothing should have happened. Yeah. What do you say to that?
What I would say to that is, I have a track record. Prince family have a track record of 30 plus years of, honoring and loving on our guests.
Houston Goons started pressing Jay Prince over his son's link to Takeoff's death, and the city got loud real fast. The Prince name, once untouchable, is now all over the case again. It didn't kick off with calm talks or warnings. Nah, it came through whispers, then threats, and suddenly the whole scene felt tense. Behind those clean interviews and polished statements, something heavy was building, something people were scared to say out loud. Until now. Because this version, this is the one they didn't want blowing up online, and at the center of it all sits one name, Jay Prince, and a tragedy the world still hasn't fully processed, Takeoff's death. Now here's where it gets real uncomfortable. On November 1st, 2022, Takeoff was shot outside 810 Billiards and Bowling in downtown Houston, only 28 years old. He was out there with Quavo for a private event tied to the Prince family, hosted at a spot linked to Jay Prince Jr. Over 30 people were inside, 5 in at first, but things flipped fast. What started as a celebration ended with Takeoff on the ground after a stray bullet flew during a dice game argument. Jay Prince Sr. later spoke on it, framing it like his hospitality got disrespected, not his family being at fault. But since that night, Houston and the whole rap world hasn't let it go. Street voices, podcasts, YouTube talk, everybody's got something to say, and the Houston Goons label keeps popping up for locals questioning the Prince family's role. Then in February 2023, Jay Prince Sr., Jr., and Mike Prince hit $1 million worth of game to tell their side. They pointed fingers at Migos affiliate Willie Bland, aka Migo Bands, saying he sparked the chaos, and even claimed he was cooperating with police. The message, clear as day. They were putting it back on Quavo's circle. They argued Takeoff might still be here if that move never happened.
Reactions came quick. Boosie spoke up saying he didn't like seeing an OG talk like that on an open case. That moment shifted everything. The focus went from mourning Takeoff to straight up finger pointing, and the streets have been split ever since. Then April 2026 hit and things got messy again at Confessions restaurant in Upper Kirby, Houston. What was supposed to be a birthday dinner turned into chaos when shots rang out. NBA YoungBoy affiliate Ben 10 and another man got hit, while Detroit rapper All-Star Jr. was later named as the shooter, saying it was self-defense. And once again, Jay Prince Jr. was right there in the building. Clips flooded social media fast, and YouTube titles started screaming Houston Goons versus 4KT like it was a full-on war. Street voices instantly connected it back to the 2022 Takeoff situation, pushing one simple angle. Jay Prince Jr. keeps being present when things go left, and now his father's name is getting dragged right back into it. Then on April 15th, 2026, another moment had people talking. A video popped up on X, posted by My Mixtapes, pulling over 2.2 million views. In it, Jay Prince Sr. is seen walking through a Houston neighborhood at night with Alabama rapper Honeycomb Brazy and a small crew. Brazy's filming, calling it a walk through the trenches, making it feel raw and intentional. The timing had people raising eyebrows heavy. It dropped just days after the confession shooting and not long after new legal updates in the Takeoff case. To many watching, it didn't feel random at all. It felt like a message. The streets were already talking. The son's name was buzzing, and now the father shows up on camera in the middle of it all.
Yeah, walking through the hood with the old man. OG.
To really get why the Prince name keeps getting tied to Takeoff, you have to go back to that night in 2022. Everything people argue about now traces right back to 810 Billiards and Bowling. Takeoff, born Kersnick Ball, was known as the quiet force in Migos, the youngest and one fan saw as the most naturally gifted. By late 2022, the group had already split due to tension, with Takeoff and Quavo moving as a duo. They had just dropped Only Built for Infinity Links in October, and only hours before the shooting, they released Messy. That's the timeline people can't stop replaying. Takeoff was only 28, and his name wasn't tied to drama or street issues like that. He kept it low, focused on music, and stayed out the mix. That night, he was in Houston with Quavo for a private gathering at 810 Billiards and Bowling on San Jacinto Street. According to reports, over 30 people were inside, and early on, everything felt calm. People smoking, talking sports, just kicking it like a regular night among familiar faces. But around 2:40 a.m., everything flipped. A dice game got going upstairs, and this wasn't small change. Real money was on the line. Quavo stepped in and, based on witness accounts, lost a noticeable amount, which sparked tension. That's where voices started rising. Important detail, Takeoff wasn't even part of the game. He was off to the side, just watching, not involved in any argument.
Check it out now. Holy. Now, the Mob Ties press tour has started, people, okay? If you guys don't know, you had the Prince family, pretty much Jay Prince Jr., Jay Prince himself, and Mike Prince. They appeared $1 million worth of game where basically Jay Prince pretty much gave it raw, okay? He said, yo, this would have not happened if Quavo's homie didn't literally jump the gun.
From there, things escalated fast. Court records say Quavo got into a heated exchange with multiple people, including Cameron Joshua, Christopher Watkins, and Willie Bland, also known as Migo Bands. At some point, someone reportedly reached for a weapon. Quavo threw a punch, Bland shoved someone, and in seconds, the whole situation turned physical. Then Quavo began to walk away, and that's when everything went left. Gunfire broke out from more than one weapon, turning the scene into chaos instantly. Shell casings were later found downstairs, showing how fast things spread. Takeoff, still just a bystander, was hit by stray bullets and dropped immediately. Panic took over. People ran, confusion everywhere, no control. Videos from that moment started circulating, showing people moving around his body during the chaos. That footage later became a huge talking point, with online voices questioning who showed respect in that moment and who didn't.
According to Jay Prince, basically, Willie Bland, okay, aka Migo Bands, is a snitch. Okay, that's what he's saying. He say he's snitching on the Prince family, and he ran back to Atlanta for protection.
Jay Prince Jr. and Mike Prince were both inside the venue when everything went down. During their $1 million worth of game interview, they explained exactly where they were at that moment. Jay Prince Jr. said he was handling the bill when the shots rang out, while Mike Prince said he moved toward the injured as soon as he heard the gunfire. They also claimed they stayed with Quavo for hours afterward, trying to deal with the situation as it unfolded. 2 other people were hit and rushed to the hospital, while Takeoff was sadly pronounced dead right there at the scene.
Police in Houston didn't waste time. They moved fast. Surveillance footage was collected, fingerprints were pulled, phone data was tracked, and even vehicles were cross-checked. Within weeks, investigators locked in on a suspect, Patrick Xavier Clark, also known as DJ Pat, who was 33 at the time. Footage reportedly showed him holding a wine bottle in one hand while firing a weapon with the other toward the group where Takeoff was standing. Fingerprints on that same bottle matched him. His phone placed him at the location, and a vehicle connected to him was seen leaving the area.
I didn't watch the whole interview. I didn't watch the whole interview because I don't really like to see OG talking like that.
I mean, the one thing that kind of surprises me, because I know people that are close to Jay Prince, and they all say that this is like one of the smartest dudes they know. Like, Jay Prince thinks of his 3-4 steps ahead.
Clark was arrested on December 2nd, 2022, and charged with murder under Texas law. By May 2023, a grand jury officially indicted him, and he pleaded not guilty. Another man involved in the earlier argument, Cameron Joshua, was also arrested, but only for unlawful possession of a weapon, not for the shooting itself. His case was later dismissed in December 2023.
He brought up that Migo Bands was cooperating with the police. I think he even brought out the paperwork. That was like the security dude with the short dreads. You know what I'm talking about?
Why did the interview? He brought out the paperwork?
Brought out the paperwork. But that was security. And honestly, I'm like, why would that surprise anybody? Like, why would you be surprised that the person that was hired to protect the people there after a shooting and a murder occurs, why would you be surprised that that person cooperates?
And here's the part that keeps the debate alive. No one from the Prince family has been charged at all. No arrests, no indictments, nothing tied to them legally in Takeoff's death. The only person formally accused of firing the fatal shots is Patrick Xavier Clark. Everything else people argue about, that's where opinions, rumors, and street narratives start to take over.
This is still an open murder case, right? Which to me, knowing Jay Prince's history, is like, oh, I'm surprised he even was going to say anything about this.
It's a lose-lose for both situations.
Right, because it set off a whole bunch of back and forth.
So who was really in that dice game, and who stepped away before everything went wrong? That's where the story gets heavy. The focus always circles back to the people standing close to Takeoff in his final moments. Every name tied to that night carries its own rumors, its own questions, and its own role in how this whole situation has been talked about for years. And during that time, the Prince family has clearly tried to shift attention away from themselves and toward one specific person. That name, Willie Bland, known as Migo Bands in the streets. According to the Prince family, he played a major role in how things escalated that night. In their $1 million worth of game interview, they didn't hold back. They said Migo Bands was the one who turned the tension physical. They claimed he shoved someone during the argument and basically set everything in motion before any shots were even fired. In their view, that moment changed everything. Breakdowns from voices like Kyle Markham pushed that angle even further. The Prince family came with paperwork, saying it backed up their claims and showed Migo Bands had spoken with authorities. That's not a small accusation. That label can stick and follow someone for a long time in hip-hop culture. Putting that out there on a major platform with documents in hand made the situation even more intense. But this is where opinions split wide open. Some people believe the Prince family. They saw the paperwork, heard the consistency, and felt it added up.
Others looked at that same interview and questioned the move completely. Boosie was one of the loudest voices on that side, pointing out how unusual it was to see J. Prince Sr. speak so openly about an active case. For someone known to move quietly and stay strategic, that moment felt different, and people definitely noticed. Then Boosie came in with another angle that caught people off guard. He questioned why everyone was acting shocked about someone tied to security speaking with police in the first place. Boosie made it clear he wasn't choosing sides. He said he had respect for both camps and called the whole situation a lose-lose. But even with that neutral stance, his words added more heat to an already tense conversation. The interview also sparked something bigger. Offset, Takeoff's cousin and former Migos member, took it personally. Some of the things J. Prince said seemed to question how close Offset really was to Takeoff, and that didn't sit right at all. That comment alone lit a fire online and quickly turned into a back and forth that played out across social media for everyone to see.
But this Offset dude, I ain't gonna leave him out. I'm just real like this because, be throwing rocks and hiding their hand, right? They be throwing rocks and hiding their hand. I don't like them kind of individuals, and the truth of the matter is, one can dance and different things in front of these different cameras. You wasn't really right there with Takeoff when he was alive, you know what I mean? So for you to be taking these positions that you taking, don't never put me in no position where, I have to defend myself. You know what I mean? That wouldn't be healthy for you.
J. Prince didn't stay quiet either. He jumped on Instagram after the interview dropped and addressed Offset directly in a video that spread fast across hip-hop blogs. That moment marked one of the most intense public clashes connected to the situation between figures not directly tied to the case itself. Offset responded, the internet had a field day, but at the center of it all, nothing had really changed. Takeoff was still gone, no conviction had been reached, and the streets kept talking louder than ever.
Man, what the is going on, man? Chat, what the man, I woke up to all kind of crazy going on. What happened now, man? Tell Big Father what happened, man. What the you think was gonna happen if a pull up and try to take my chain? Oh my God, y'all got way too much going on, bruh. Y'all got way too much.
Fast forward to 2026, and the case was still unresolved. Patrick Clark's trial was set for November 2026, while the Prince family had mostly stayed focused on business and kept a low profile publicly. For a while, things seemed quieter until April 2026 hit.
I already went down through that phase in my life. I already been a G. I already been to jail. 10 got shot. I'm glad to hear you all right, man. I'm glad that, man. I first heard that shit, it f***ed me up. I don't even know that young. I just know I hate to see that. Cause we black and we got potential. I f*** that young persona. You know what I'm saying? I don't know him to not like him. You know what I'm saying? But so far so good in my eyes.
Around April 8th, a gathering went down at Confessions Restaurant in Houston's Upper Kirby area, a well-known upscale spot for nightlife and celebrations. The event was a birthday dinner tied to someone referred to online as OG3, bringing together a mix of people from the scene. And once again, J. Prince Jr. was confirmed to be there, both by his own words and by multiple videos that quickly started making rounds online. At some point during the night, things took a turn. An altercation broke out inside the restaurant, and while details are still being sorted, the core of it is clear. A group that reportedly included NBA YoungBoy affiliate Ben 10 and another man referred to as Dead End Ron was there. Detroit rapper All-Star Jr., connected to T Grizzly's circle, was also in the building. What exactly sparked it? That part depends on who you ask.
I believe in the law of attraction. What you give is what you get. If I set out every day to hurt somebody, I might eventually hurt them. I'm not looking for trouble. Oh, but if I bump into trouble, oh man, we're gonna crash.
One version that spread fast across YouTube and Instagram claimed a group tried to press All-Star Jr. over his chain. That moment allegedly turned physical quick, and then everything escalated. Shots rang out, and both Ben 10 and Dead End Ron were hit multiple times. All-Star Jr. was identified as the one who fired, reportedly saying he was defending himself. Ben 10 was left critically injured, and the situation instantly turned serious. But just like before, the story split in two. Some voices online claimed the people moving aggressively were tied to J. Prince Jr., while others said Ben 10's side started it. Clips from inside and outside the restaurant hit the internet, but none showed the full timeline, leaving room for speculation to run wild. Finesse 2 Times jumped in with a long live stream, and you could hear the frustration. He spoke on wanting distance from the chaos, saying he's already lived through enough and proved what he needed to prove. He also made it clear he didn't personally know those involved, but hated seeing situations like this play out, especially with the bigger picture in mind.
From his perspective, this whole thing could have been avoided. He spoke on energy and how situations like this build up over time. Meanwhile, Jay Prince Jr. responded on Instagram, pushing back against the rumors. He said he was there alone, that the gathering wasn't planned as a setup, and that he doesn't even know All-Star Jr. personally. He also made it clear he would never harm a young person, addressing that point directly as speculation kept spreading online.
Up to now, no member of the Prince family has been charged in connection to the Confessions restaurant shooting. Houston police are still investigating, and early reporting describes it as a mix of an alleged robbery attempt and mutual combat. As of mid-April 2026, no full list of arrests have been publicly confirmed, leaving a lot of questions still hanging in the air. At the same time, another headline added more attention to the situation. In March 2026, reports revealed that Patrick Xavier Clark, the man charged in Takeoff's death, had brought on a new legal team. That team included Kent Schaffer, Anthony Osso, and Dan Cogdell, all high-profile attorneys who have previously represented Jay Prince Sr. in different cases over the years. That connection alone was enough to get people talking. Online, theories spread fast. Some people took it as proof that the Prince family had influence behind the scenes, while others pushed back, saying it's normal for top lawyers in a major city like Houston to represent multiple high-profile clients. In reality, attorney overlap like that isn't rare, but once social media grabs hold of a detail like this, it can take on a life of its own. With both the confession shooting and the legal team news hitting around the same time, the internet turned it into a full narrative. You started seeing titles and thumbnails pushing phrases like "Houston Goons attack Jay Prince," making it sound like something bigger was unfolding. The angle being pushed was simple. His son was present at multiple situations tied to violence, and now people were framing it like the streets were closing in and payback was coming.
The reality didn't match the wild headlines at all. There were no reports from Houston police about any physical attack on Jay Prince Sr. No ambush, no shooting, no fight. That word attack was being thrown around online to describe criticism, street talk, and backlash, not anything that actually happened in real life. Then came the viral moment that had everyone watching. On April 15th, 2026, the My Mixtapes X account dropped a short 12-second clip and it took off instantly. Within a day, it pulled over 2.2 million views, thousands of likes, and a flood of reactions. The caption made it sound bold. Jay Prince outside at 61, walking through Houston neighborhoods at night. The video itself had a split-screen look. On one side, a clean photo of Jay Prince Sr. in a white suit giving a thumbs up. On the other, raw, handheld footage showing him walking down a Houston street after dark. Honeycomb Brazy was behind the camera, talking while a small group moved with them. It felt unfiltered, like something meant to send a message without saying too much. Text across the clip claimed Prince and his circle were still good in the hood. It came off like a statement about presence, safety, and influence all at once. The background added to that feeling too. People outside in regular clothes, bikes leaned up nearby, even someone in a wheelchair visible in the scene. Streetlights gave everything that warm nighttime glow, making it clear this wasn't staged. It was a real neighborhood, real moment.
Reactions split quickly. Supporters saw it as respect, saying it proved Prince still had strong ties and didn't need heavy security to move around. They pointed at Honeycomb Brazy being there as a sign of real backing, not just hired protection. Others, though, questioned the timing and what message was really being sent, especially with everything else going on. Critics weren't feeling that video at all. Some called it corny. Others said it looked like straight clout chasing. They questioned why a 61-year-old millionaire would even be out walking through neighborhoods at night like that. To them, it didn't look real. It looked like a performance. They even argued it pushed the same street image that people usually try to leave behind once they level up. A lot of the replies instantly tied that clip back to everything else going on. People connected it to the Confessions restaurant shooting and even the Takeoff case. Some saw it as a message aimed directly at the streets, like Prince was showing he and his family weren't shaken at all. Others took it as a response to all those viral headlines claiming the Prince name was under pressure. When you step back and look at everything together, a pattern shows up. What's really been happening is a steady wave of online talk, criticism, debates, and nonstop commentary. YouTube channels, podcasts, and social media users have kept the Prince family tied to the conversation around Takeoff's death for years. That noise only got louder after the April 2026 restaurant shooting, and then picked up even more when news dropped about Patrick Clark's legal team having past ties to Jay Prince Sr.
The term Houston Goons and all this isn't about one exact group. It's more like a label for all those voices online and in the streets adding to the discussion. Some are from Houston, some aren't. Some are known commentators, and others are just random accounts speaking loud. But despite all the talk, none of it has turned into an actual physical attack on the Prince family. And when it comes to Jay Prince Jr.'s connection to Takeoff's death, the official facts haven't changed. He hasn't been charged, named as a suspect, or accused by police of firing any weapon that night. According to reports, his role was simply being connected to the gathering where it all happened. That's it. No charges, no indictment, no arrest, just ongoing conversation that keeps his name in the spotlight. Patrick Xavier Clark is still the only person charged with murder in the Takeoff case. His trial is locked in for November 9th, 2026, with jury selection starting November 5th. Cameron Joshua's weapons case, that got dismissed back in December 2023. Outside of that, no one else has been charged. No new arrests, no extra names added. So when it comes to that big question, did Houston Goons actually attack Jay Prince over his son's role? The answer is no. There hasn't been any physical attack at all. What's really been happening is non-stop talk, debates, criticism, and people online and in the streets keeping the conversation alive. That walk through the neighborhood, that wasn't a reaction to violence, it was a response to the noise, plain and simple.
The deeper layer here is all about perception. The Prince family built a powerful name in Houston, and with that comes attention, good and bad. Every situation tied to them gets put under a microscope. When Takeoff lost his life at an event connected to their circle, that spotlight got even brighter. Then the confessions incident added more pressure, and when Jay Prince Sr. stepped out on camera, he made it clear he was choosing how to face that attention moving forward. That's the real story behind all the headlines. If you made it this far, tap that like button, subscribe for more breakdowns, and share this with someone who's been following the case. Drop a comment and let me know your take on everything. What do you think really happened here?